stories, they get carried away sometimes. Well, there was a time in the beginning when Lindsay and I lived in San Francisco before we moved to Los Angeles, and it was the best time you could possibly live in San Francisco, or basically, in our opinion, anywhere, because that was where the music was, and that was Woodstock. That was all those great San Francisco bands. And we just were lucky enough. I mean, he lived there his whole life. My family was transferred up there in 1965. So I had 1965 through 1971 there in San Francisco. He spent his whole life there. So for him, it was just amazing. For me, it was like I came from Los Angeles into this amazing musical thing. And so when I graduated from high school, I went on and went to 2 years of college, and Lindsay formed a band, and 2 years later they called and asked me if I wanted to be in their band. And I said, well, absolutely. And so I became a member of this really good band. And we were doing these amazing shows, not very long after I joined the band, so it was like even more amazing. And we were opening for Jimi Hendrix, 75,000 people at Santa Clara Fairgrounds. Janis Joplin, Frosh Amphitheater, Stanford University, the Fillmore in downtown San Francisco for Chicago on their like Color My World. That album is huge. And even though you're not headlining, you're 8th on the bill, but nevertheless you're 8th on the bill, and you get to stand on the side of the stage and watch. And that is the perk of opening for big bands, is that you get to watch and learn. So anyway, we made pretty good money. My parents were completely supporting me because I was going to San Jose State, so nobody else in the band was going to school but me. So I got to keep this money. And I had heard rumors that there was this amazing store in downtown San Francisco called the Velvet Underground, where all the rock and roll women bought their clothes. And I saved up my money and went driving up there and prepared to, spend everything I had on an outfit. And I walked into this amazing store, and I thought it was going to be a really big, grand store. It wasn't. It was a tiny little store, and it was like packed to the ceilings with glorious things. And I stood there on this hand-painted floor. Who knew? And I'm like going, I can't afford anything in this place. I'm pretty sure there's not even a ribbon that I could buy here. But what I realized immediately, that I was standing probably in the same place where many, many famous rock and roll women had stood before me. And I had, like, I like to say, a seizure premonition. And all of a sudden I saw it coming from everywhere. I understood that someday I would be able to walk into that store and buy anything I wanted, and I understood that my dream was out there and it was on its way. And what it was this. It was Chris, John, and Mick and Lindsay. It was Fleetwood Mac. And it was coming. So I get distracted when I get into this, because I can just feel myself standing there going like, if you have a dream and you believe in it, don't ever let anybody get in your way and say you can't do it, because you can. And you just have to never give anybody else any say in what you're going to do, because if you have that passion, then you're going to make it to the top, and you're going to make your life be what you want it to be. So that really is the reason I'm telling you this story, is that hang on to that dream, because this world is nuts, and you need to go there. Go to the dream place, and maybe someday you'll be a big rock star. So I'm back to the Velvet Underground, back to the floor that I love, to a room with some lace and paper flowers, back to the gypsy that I was. To the velvet Some lace and some paper flowers. Back to Gypsy than I was to the Gypsy that I Thank you.